We now move on to our next plenary session in conversation with young leaders and innovators. Please welcome our panelists, Sankalp Mohan Sharma, founder and director, Such Foundation. Please put your hands together. Shankar Mohan, welcome. Soumya Agarwal, CEO and co-founder, Youth for Peace International. Geetika Malhotra, former Assurance Associate.
Please do. Or if you want to welcome the ladies, that's fine too.
Shweta Karkera, Edupreneur, Vintage Design. Mrs. Litsuanela Mapulane Fuleli. Please welcome Mrs. Litsuanela.
You're representing her? Oh, perfect. Come on over. The lovely Naomi representing an amazing lady from Nigeria. So happy to welcome Naomi on behalf of Lithuania.
Hello everyone, and she is Madam Excellency Mapulani, and she's the ambassador's wife for the Kingdom of Lesotho.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Maybe you read her message now.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. All right. So, 1 second. Because I thought I was going to sit down first to do this. How many of you believe in coincidences? Well, I don't call them coincidences. I call them God incidences. And so a very interesting thing happened. Yesterday, Madam Excellency Mapulani was meant to be on my plenary session with the beautiful Niharika. And for some reason, she couldn't come upstage. And so we struck a conversation after the plenary, and we were meant to be her guest tonight in her home. But plans changed, and she came over about an hour ago, and so we gathered together, and we started having a conversation about the work that she does. And then the message came about this award, and then Niharika put me on the spot and said, "You go represent her." And so in that moment, we had to have a conversation about the work that she does. And I must tell you, it got very interesting. So Madam Excellency Mapulani of the Kingdom of Lesotho is the founder of Motsio FC. And when I asked her about the meaning of Motsio, she said it means kitchen in Lesotho. A very interesting thing happens in the Kingdom of Lesotho. When a woman goes into a challenge or a problem with her husband, and the elders are invited to intervene in the matter, guess what happens to the woman? She's sent into the kitchen, and she is asked to go into the kitchen and fight with the pots. True story. And they believe that in the kitchen, she would find peace, and she would come up with answers to solve the problems that she currently has. And so in a bid to change that narrative of women just being restricted to the kitchen, that's how she founded Motsio FC. Wow. Amazing. So Motsio FC is a non-profit making entity that is meant to emancipate women from all walks of life and to extend a helping hand to the marginalized and vulnerable women and children, especially the girl child. Amongst other objectives, it is to engage in extramural activities as a way of relaxation for women and girls to lead an active, healthy lifestyle. Football or soccer is used to reach out to them to encourage them to do something new, something they've never done before, and something that gets them completely out of their comfort zone to support one another, develop leadership skills, empower and foster their self-esteem. Studies have shown that football is great for fitness and cardiovascular health. People of various ages and skill levels can participate in football or soccer, with those of various sizes being able to do equally well, as it builds strength, flexibility, and endurance. Motsio FC also participates in the economic women empowerment, hence our popular campaign of #CharityWrappedWithDignity. In this campaign, every month, we identify a woman street vendor who sells small things, and as a club and our family members, we go at random times to buy for more than the value of what they're selling. I think that's amazing. That's what we call charity wrapped with dignity. We also, as members, exchange ideas for fundraising so that we're able to sponsor and support charitable works in our communities. And she would like also to make a special plea to everyone to support Motsio FC and women all over the world playing football and become partners for positive change and a better world for all. And for her, she says, it's time for our kitchen to be in the soccer field. And so she humbly dedicates the award to all women in Motsio FC in India and Lesotho. And finally, in Motsio FC, every member has to have a name, and it has to be an item you find in the kitchen. And so for me to do this today, and as a new member of Motsio FC, we had to come up with a name for me. And I said, I need my name to be in Lesotho. And so she said, describe who you are. And I said, just tell me that thing in the kitchen that you can't do without, that thing that is so important. And so officially, you've always known me as Naomi, but right now, I am Lesokwana of Motsio FC. And Lesokwana is a wooden stirrer that is used in the kitchen in Lesotho. That's who I am. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Naomi, for sharing Madam Excellency Mapulane's message with us. I now call upon Sankalp Mohan Sharma to please deliver his message.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As she said, my name is Sankalp Mohan Sharma. I run an organization called the Such Foundation, and I have been working towards the environment, water conservation, and sustainable development for about 8 or 10 years now. I think I would like to divide this talk into 3 parts. First, I want to tell you a little bit about me and my background. Back from, I think, middle school, 6th grade is when I fell in love with the environment, and I started doing my bit back then. I would be part of these school clubs like the Epic Club and the CMCA, gather on sports days and annual days, and we would segregate waste, we would talk to our youngsters, and I started there, and that's when I developed my passion for the environment. At a bright time of my career, I had the distinct pleasure to represent our country at the Climate Reality Leadership Training Program, where I was trained by Vice President Al Gore to work on the environment, and post that training program, I became one of India's youngest climate reality leaders. So I've had, I've always enjoyed public speaking. I've always enjoyed talking to youngsters. Youngsters love listening to me because, if someone older was to talk to them about ideas like environment or water, it would become more like a lecture. But when a youngster is talking to them, they understand, they relate, and they really enjoy learning about it. So my work kept on growing. I started talking in several conferences with several different age groups, people from every strata of the society. One of my most prestigious talks was with 200 soldiers of the Indian Army who actually came out of their way and are already doing everything they can for our country, but actually came out to pledge and conserve water in this country. And the fact that a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old was talking to them about it was something that people loved and was something that went viral. So as I was doing all of this work, I had about 5 years back come up with the idea of the Such Foundation, which is basically working on the 17 Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations. So this foundation aims to work solely with the youth around the world, empower them, empower their ideas, brainstorm with them to come up with ideas for every single sustainable development goal, and help them get these ideas implemented around the world. So for example, we have a young environmentalist in Nigeria who wanted to plant saplings, and in a Miyawaki style. So when Nigeria was planting 500 saplings, India was planting 4,000 saplings, Nepal was planting another 100 saplings, Haiti was planting 100 saplings, and so on and so forth. Similarly, on Women's Day, which we just had recently, we worked on menstruation education. Several times in our country, women aren't taught about this, young girls don't know what this is. It is considered as a disease in our country, which is absolutely heartbreaking. So we worked on menstruation education in different parts of our society, spoke to these women, and donated free sanitary pads. Finally, I'd like to share a quick anecdote with you all of one of the best experiences that I've ever had. How many of us Indians in the room are familiar with a kabadi wala? How many of us know a kabadi wala? As for the foreigners that don't know the kabadi wala is someone that comes to your house bi-weekly or once a month, collects all your old newspapers, takes them by weight, and pays you a certain cost for it. Back in 6th grade, my father gave me the responsibility of taking care of all the old newspapers in my house, and he said whatever money I got in return would be mine. And this I took as a golden opportunity to have my favorite ice cream every month. So, I mean, I loved the idea. I started working on it diligently. Every month, the kabadi wala would come. I would give him my old newspapers, my old magazines, and just give it to him, make my money, and enjoy my ice cream. Eventually, one day, as I was enjoying my ice cream, I saw the kabadi wala, and the kabadi wala was always seen with two things. One was his cycle, and two huge rag bags in which he collected all these newspapers. That day, as I was enjoying my ice cream, I saw him in the middle of summer peddling with 2 bags filled with newspapers. And that image basically hurt me. I didn't enjoy my ice cream anymore. So I decided to give him my newspapers completely free of cost. 2 months, 3 months in, 4 months into the practice, there are tons of things in our houses that we don't use anymore, but are just lying. Tons of new things, old things, phone covers, toys, books, clothes, everything. I decided, you know what, I'm going to give him everything free of cost. 8 months, 9 months in, I was living in apartments, so my neighbors, my friends got to know of what I was doing, and they said, you know, this idea makes a lot of sense. 10 months into the practice, we have all the youngsters doing this. The kabadi wala spoke the local language of Kannada, and I spoke Hindi and English. So we never communicated through words, but solely through actions. You know, today no newspapers, today these many newspapers, what's the cost? Now, this one Sunday morning, after about a year of this practice, the kabadi wala, like every time, rang my doorbell on a Sunday morning. I rush to the door, I see him there, I go back in, I check if I have any newspapers that day, but I did not. The kabadi wala said no, and was trying to communicate something, and I was unable to understand what he was saying, when all of a sudden he started sobbing, and he fell to the ground. It was shocking for me as a youngster to see someone come to my house and, you know, get so emotional Sunday morning right outside my doorstep. So I sat beside him, I pat his back, and I tried to understand what had happened. He was unable to explain to me, and I was unable to understand. So he went towards his bags in which he had been taking all these newspapers, clothes, and toys, and that day went into that bag and grabbed out 2 cards, and I distinctly remember one was pink and the other light blue, and he handed them to me. Now the emotions and the tears from his eyes moved to mine. They were the cards, these 2 cards were the report cards of both his students, both his sons, and he was able to pay for the education of both his children with the practice that I had adopted.
Wow.
So there have been thousands of stories like this from young leaders around the world where we are changing societies, we are working for our environment and our race. And I would love for all the youngsters here to join us, come on board with us, and be a part of this global movement. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Sankalp. It's an amazing story. I think this man has moved your life, and he's maybe one of the reasons why you're even doing this at this point. So a big round of applause for you taking that sign that, you know, the universe has given to you at a young age. So thank you for this initiative. A big round of applause.
I call upon CEO and co-founder, Youth for Peace International, Soumya Agarwal, to please deliver her message.
Hello everyone. So today I'll share my river of life, full of challenges, full of accomplishments. Met a lot of people during this journey who shared a lot of life lessons, went to a lot of places, captured a lot of stories through which I learned, and that made me who I am today. So when I was born, I was gifted with an invisible element by the society, and that was fear. And being very young, I was like, what is this? I wanted to dream. They said, no, don't dream. You will fall. I wanted to walk. They stopped. They said, don't stop. Don't stop. Don't walk. I wanted to paint. They stopped. That you are not capable enough. I wanted to dance. They said, don't dance. You are not meant for it. And I was confused. What to do now? How should I tackle it? Because I was a person full of dreams, wanted to achieve something, wanted to prove my parents, make them proud. So when I was 3-year-old, I started learning dance. I started doing it. Because I realized when I wanted to dance, when I wanted to paint, it was just a desire. But when I started doing it, it was an action. And then they couldn't stop me. So when I was 3-year-old, I started learning Indian classical dance. I started painting. I started doing anything and everything that a male can do. So following my passion, in 8th grade, I performed in the opening ceremony of Commonwealth Games 2010. And I started my own arts and dancing school, and that was my first startup when I was 12-year-old. And just to prove myself to the society, to my father, to my grandparents who felt that I am not capable enough. Then, when it was the crucial time to choose whether I will become a doctor, engineer, a CA, or take humanities if I will not get good marks. So my father said, no, you have to be an engineer. I actually had to fought that battle and change my passion into profession. So in 12th grade, I founded Youth for Peace International. After my 12th grade, I founded Youth for Peace International, which is a youth-led peace-building organization. We work in 3 domains: capacity building, ground action, and advocacy, with a vision to create a peaceful world of empowered individuals and sustainable society. Under capacity building, we conduct workshops on youth and peace building in various countries. So we have worked in Iran, Malaysia, Dubai, London, and many more. And if talk about India, so conflicted areas like Jammu and Kashmir, Northeast, and in other regions as well. And we work with communities like refugees, sexually abused women, substance abuse victims, to heal their trauma and to create social ventures so that they can be self-sustainable. And to amplify our impact, we work with United Nations, Commonwealth, and Government of India in policy recommendation, and also do campaigns on hate speech, countering violent extremism. So we have been the youngest organization to be on international platforms and to keep our voices in front of the leaders. So this is who I am. And just a last message, something that I follow in my life, that the road towards awesome things often goes through a really scary forest. So the fear is a signal that you are doing something right or you are to something. So I have seen a lot of women sharing stories of struggle, but this shows that we are onto something and we are on the right path. So cheers to womanhood and thank you so much.
Thank you, Soumya. Truly inspiring to see such young leaders making such valuable contributions. May I now call upon Gitika Malhotra to deliver her message, please.
Good evening, everyone. Firstly, I would like to thank you all for being present here. I'm Gitika Malhotra, an economics graduate from Delhi University. I'm currently working as programs manager at the MASH project, which is a social enterprise committed to building a global ecosystem of high-impact social change makers. Prior to this, I worked as an assurance associate at Ernst & Young for a year. Like most other Indian couples, I was born to a couple that always wanted to have a son. Being a single child, I was always treated as a son at home. But unfortunately, so my parents made me so much so that my parents made me support boycott hair look till I was 16 years old. Unfortunately, to my surprise, this behavior was not translated to all the other aspects of my life. Going to school trips, staying out of home at night, night stays, and all the other things were something that I was not allowed to do. Such incidents at home ignited a fire in me to prove to my parents and to all others that girls are no less than boys in any way. Since then, I have made all attempts to break the stereotypes against females, and I can proudly say that over the years, I've been successful at changing my parents' outlook and proving that I am capable of doing everything that their son would have otherwise done. I could achieve this by talking things out with my mom and convincing her to support me. I am sure many of you must have faced such similar discrimination at your home fronts, let alone your workplaces. So and this is how deep-rooted the menace of gender discrimination is. And I would like to urge you all to start promoting gender equality from our home itself to tackle this menace from its root cause. And so always keep taking baby steps to fight for the right and never settle for anything less than what you deserve. A very recent example I can think of will be that of Miss Katie Bowman, the female scientist who developed the algorithm that created the first ever image of a black hole. She is the perfect testimony of the fact that when provided with good education and equal opportunities, girls can achieve anything and can even make the seemingly impossible possible. Other than this, I've started believing in the magic of providing confidence boost and empowering women at all levels, because I've come across many incidents wherein lack of confidence is a very common phenomenon in females. So this cause has become very close to my heart, so much so that it motivated me to leave my corporate job and join the social impact space and work for the same. There's this personal desire to change the course for all the other women and empower females in any and every way possible. Therefore, my message to you all would be to always have faith, believe in yourself and your abilities. And I say this because it's really important for all of us to stick together and to support each other. The more women help one another, the more we help ourselves. This is exactly why forums such as this play a crucial role in providing the much needed encouragement and confidence. And one must participate actively in in such events to support the causes of women empowerment and gender equality. And I would like to end with a quote from Sheryl Sandberg's book, Lean In. It is the time to cheer on girls and women who want to sit at the table, seek challenges, and lean into their careers. Have the ambition to lean into your career and run the world, because the world needs you to change it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Gitika. Our next young leader is Shweta Karkera. Kindly.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and prodigious Dr. Harbin Arora ma'am. Well, I would like to start by thanking my family for basically making me this potential enough that I'm standing right in front of you, giving a story which I am really thankful for. I would really like my father, who has made sure that he was never biased between me and my sibling, and has made sure that, yes, women can actually empower and have a vision where sky is actually a limit. I would thank my mother, who has always kept me grounded, for the kind of woman I am, always believe in challenging the norms and making sure that you can actually do something better more than this. My mentor, Miss Margaret Sumitrappa, who has helped me to be the person I am today. My late grandmother, Samadhan Amma, who has made sure that throwing some light regarding the educational part of each and everybody, wherein how education can play a vital role in changing individuals. Coming to vintage design, I belong to a family full of creativepreneurs and entrepreneurs, and that's how my journey began. I started from the age of 16, yes, 16, where basically we Indians are not allowed to work, but I made sure I worked so that I could learn certain things, not for money, but of course for knowledge. And throughout my journey of learning from different backgrounds of marketing and photography, digital marketing, interior designing, I came across that education plays a very important role in each and every individual present. And to create that change, when I really went through what I've been coming across with people, it was more surprising that there were people who are underprivileged, who did not get the importance of studying the courses they really wish for, specifically the courses which I'm actually providing. So vintage design is basically a fusion wherein creativity and entrepreneurship is introduced to underprivileged students and women entrepreneurs, providing free education for them, making sure that, as you know, education is a right to all, making sure that all the underprivileged, as well as the women entrepreneurs who are looking forward to get out of their shells, learn knowledge, spread knowledge, and become a better individual, it can actually create a better society. Not only that, for me, I believe not only gender equality is important, we also need to focus on subjects like where people are not actually focusing, and we at Vintage Design are looking forward for the same, making sure that apart from giving knowledge to gender, to all categories, including women, including men, also specially able children, so that they get their right of education. As Gandhiji said, be the change you wish to see. I am here to change the world, and I'm making sure that everybody in this universe receives the education he's born for.
He's what?
Born for.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you so much, Shweta, on leaving us on that note of inspiration, because to hear all the beautiful young leaders of today and tomorrow, it's been, you know, the message really drives home that they're really focused on discipline, they're focused on acquiring knowledge. So it's really, really beautiful to see that. And on that note, I want to invite somebody really, really special. we have with us Mr. Sikandar. I invite Mr. A.M. Sikandar onto the stage. I will introduce you to Mr. Sikandar because he is the proud son of the late Mrs. Hema Balakrishnan, who we lost earlier this year, but we are awarding her for a legacy of a lifetime of inspiration that she created for young leaders, and especially she worked in the coastal state of South India, Kerala. She's a synonymous name with inspiration in Kerala. And Mr. Sikandar, her son, stands proud receiving this award on behalf of her mom, a lifetime of legacy that she created. So, would you say a few words? Would you, please, thank you.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Hema Balakrishnan, A Life in Service. Thank you, Dr. Arvind Arora and the WF for conferring this award to my mother posthumously. Hema Balakrishnan did her service as though it was the most natural thing to do. In fact, she enjoyed helping people, and the smile that brought to their face or a word of gratitude would make her extremely pleased. That's the most she sought. Other than that, she never wanted any recognition for anything she did. At events and functions where she would have been one of the key functionaries, she would refuse to sit on the stage. That's how anonymous she wanted to be. She was a human being par excellence. She was humorous and charming. In fact, when one met her, that would be the first thing that made them feel attracted to her. They would instantly connect and bond with her. She made friends for life. She lived life on her own terms, and as a young bride, the next year after her marriage in 1954, she enrolled herself in the State Women's Council in Bombay and helped bathe children in the slums. Then on in various organizations for women, children, and the blind in Mumbai, Kolkata, Hyderabad, London, and in Palakkad in Kerala, where she lived from 1977 onwards till February 2nd, 2019. Every day till she passed away at the age of 83, she was involved in various committees for the causes for women and children. She ran an orphanage for children in Palakkad for more than 30 years till the day she passed away. The organization continues. She ensured the institution continued. She touched the lives of thousands of women, men, and children in her lifetime and made a positive impact on them. I am, for one, who was shaped by her and have become who I am because of her. And I'm so grateful for being blessed to be her son. I'm humbled and honored to receive this award on my mother's behalf. I wish the conference every success. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Awarding the posthumous award to late Mrs. Hema Balakrishnan, an exceptional woman of excellence at the Women Economic Forum. A solemn moment. We'd like to also present awards to the young achievers and leaders.
Sankalp Mohan Sharma, young leader creating a better world for all. Agarwal, young leader creating a better world for all. Ritika Malhotra, young leader creating a better world for all. Shweta Karkera, young innovator creating a better world for all.
Presenting, I call upon Naomi to accept the award on behalf of Honorable Madam Mapulane from Nigeria. Please step up for a group photograph. Sikandar, would you like to join us for a group photo? With the award.